Hello.
That might have been my fault. I'm blaming the gremlins, though. The tech gremlins. Hey, look at that.
And down here.
Excellent.
Mm.
Everything's coming up, Millhouse. That doesn't want to work. Hang on. That will. So, yeah, we've just been talking about the tour that's about to start very imminently.
Cool.
Yeah.
Have we got JJ? Yeah, there she is.
There we go.
Yay!
Woo!
Whoa! That's
It's
got me ages. I was like, what am I doing?
veritable rock orgy. I've never done this before. Fantastic. So, are we like in the midst of sort of like intense rehearsal periods, or are you trying not to get burned out before you even start the tour?
Somewhere between the
Well,
two.
yeah, so I'm going to be somewhere in between. So,
There's still lots of like rehearsing and I think tidying up the stage show and everything to do. You know, what we do between songs, so we're not awkwardly sitting there and staring at everyone and they're
we'll still
staring
we'll
at
still
us.
awkwardly sit there.
No. Tech.
Actually go back on tour, it'll definitely be us just locking in those final, like the nuances about it. So like we've got the set, we've rehearsed the set, like Dan said, now it's all about what we're going to do on stage, what we're going to do between the stage, sorting out backing tapes for like the introductory music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then figuring out what we're going to wear basically.
Yeah, making sure there's clear markers so you don't walk into the pyro and
yeah. My main thing is like where am I gonna put my like XLR cable so I don't trip into the audience,
or drag your cable over my pedal board.
Oh, I keep doing that. Like I keep saying they're kissing. So my XLR cable and Alicia's guitar pedal board, they're just kissing. They're like best friends. They keep getting tangled with one another. So
yeah. This is why I always went with the power trio. It just
yeah,
no issues with any of that. Fantastic. So okay. So let me say. So without spoiling it for people that have got a ticket for the Halloween show where it all kicks off, are you going to be in costume?
Ooh. I'll let
How do you
Dan
answer
say
that without actually spoiling it though? Because it's like, well, maybe. what we're doing, kind of, is we're kind of going to be in costume, but in a way that suits the band, so it still looks like us. So I'm not going to be like dressed as SpongeBob SquarePants or anything like that.
I
you know what I mean?
really want it to be a traffic cone, and like my dreams are ruined, so I'll have to save that for another time. No, too much.
Yeah, because the reason being is that because we're filming it, you know, we want to make this. I sound really old saying a DVD because nobody watches live things on DVD anymore. But you know what I mean. So if you have like a little movie, you know, like the Ghost one, but from Temu sort of thing. And you know, so people are going to be watching this when it isn't Halloween. You know what I mean? Hopefully, if they watch it. But so it's got to be something that represents us as a band. It looks like RBD. We can dress up and be Halloweeny, but in our way. If that makes sense.
Someone suggested I should be Patrick Star, and I completely agree with that. But the Patrick Star, has anyone seen it where he's got like fishnets and like leather thigh-high boots on? Like that is the Patrick Star I'd be.
So obviously, so clearly you guys are busy on the date itself. So I squeeze in some kind of Halloween shenanigans in a little bit early, or parties or whatever. Personally,
no. I've got absolutely nothing planned for Halloween apart from this gig.
Yeah, we pretty much dedicated all our like October time, like the whole spooky season, to us going back on tour and doing this gig. So it's literally I think this time of year for LBD means so much because that's where we really shine. It's everything that we're about. Like the Halloween season, we're hoping one day when you think of Halloween, you think of Lesbian Bed Death. That's how it should
Well,
be.
you can
So
speak for yourself. I'm going out loads this Halloween. So.
oh yeah, he's gonna be crashing parties. He's gonna be out
I
every
am.
single night. But
Yeah, yeah.
me and Alicia are old, so we can't do that. You know.
You know what? I don't have much planned, and in some ways, a part of that is because I just don't want to see like a million Deadpools everywhere I go.
That's
Well, yeah.
valid.
It's not like I don't like the guy, but it's just like so boring and basic. Like when everyone was Margot Robbie, because they weren't Harley Quinn, because that
Oh yeah,
fucking ain't Harley
they were
Quinn.
Margot
That's
Robbie, weren't they?
not Harley Quinn. But when the guys were dressed like that, I thought, yeah,
Yeah.
you know, you're cool. I like you. You'll get a free pass. But
Yeah.
when the ladies were doing it, it was just like boring.
Yeah.
Because what everyone was doing, wasn't it? Like everyone was just dressed as it, and I think this year everyone is going to be Deadpool and like Wolverine.
Contrary to popular belief, I'm not going to Halloween as P Diddy. It's not happening
It's
because I'll be cancelled immediately.
Yeah.
Fucking scary though.
I thought of something scary and awful that haunts my dreams, and that's the first thing I came up with. But you're quite right about the Deadpool thing. I mean, like I've put on the flyer for our Halloween gig, horror themed fancy dress, because like I said, you don't, if you put the camera on the crowd, I mean, I won't tell people what to wear. Obviously, they can wear what the hell they want, but I'm just secretly hoping I want to see some Freddy Kruegers and some Frankenstein monsters and some actual horror Halloween stuff. I don't want to see like Deadpool and fucking again SpongeBob SquarePants or something shit. You know what I mean?
I want to see
it's not
that.
a kids' party. It's
I
Halloween.
want to see that. Yeah, I do.
You should respect this shit. Do you know what I mean? It's like you get one day when you can dress up as a monster and everything's okay.
Do you want to know what I'm really hoping for Halloween, like for the gig, is that we open the doors to the venue at night and all these people rush in and they're all dressed as Dan, like all of them.
That happened last year. Yeah. Matt from Doomsday Sun turned up dressed as me, and the really bad bit is I didn't realise straight away at all. I was just having this normal conversation with him. He had the same hat on as me and everything, and yeah.
Like, I would absolutely love that if there was just a room of like black fedoras and just.
Maybe I'll go as you, JJ. That's what I'm gonna do.
I think you should go as me.
Yeah. One thing
I think that's what we should do. We should all swap outfits.
Yeah.
That was my annual suggestion to whatever the bandmates I had at the time was that we'll go as each other. Well,
like
I think Dan would make a perfect JJ. So if I'm Dan and Dan goes as me, I think Alicia should go as Amy. I think Amy should go as Liesel, and I think Liesel should go as Alicia.
Banging.
It's not going to happen, is
it? It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I can just see someone going as me, like kneeling into their shoes or something hilarious. Like that.
I think maybe that might be like a cool TikTok idea. It's like if we all just swap clothes and aesthetics or something for the day, and like even personalities and stuff. So
so the tour's coming up. Starts on October itself, 31st, right? We've just been talking. Got like 8 dates?
It's more than that.
More than that.
I feel like I want to say more.
It's
there are.
I can tell you what it is.
Aren't there?
We've got Halloween, and then we go on tour supporting Aurelia Voltaire for 8 days in a row. That starts on the Saturday, and through to the following Saturday in Glasgow. And then the subsequent weeks, we've got stuff like we got one of the Rockmantic shows in Grimsby, with Tail Gunner and a few other bands, and then we're headlining Pontefract, which is interesting because when we booked the gig, it was going to be Vortex in Wakefield, but that got closed down, so we got moved to the northern thingamabob, but they double booked, so now we're over the road at a place called Frankie's Bar, but we're we've been given a headlining slot, and there's a wicked lineup with that. It's like 6 or 7 really good bands on the same bill. So we've got like a few other gigs dotted, so we just shove them on the poster as well to make it look like we're doing this massive world tour. But we have got a few days at home in between.
That's what it is. So, while we're doing this, while we're on the spooky season Halloween theme, because I'm chasing the likes and shares. No, I'm not. Not really.
We all
I
are.
can't bring myself to do that.
We are.
We all are.
I stick all this shit on. I can't do it. It's just not in my nature. This will be like I don't know, whatever, the fucking 40th video. Once I edit it a little bit, do a bit of an intro, put it up on YouTube, whatever. It'll be like the 40th or something video that I've done since I started these things. And like, I just can't bring myself to say that, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Like,
comment,
share,
You need like a little jingle for it as well.
Yeah. People suggest like, well, just like put it up in like subtitles or whatever. Just put an animation on the screen, and I'm like, no, fuck, I'm not begging.
Yeah.
You can like it or fuck off. It's fine. Like,
it's a very English thing. It's I think it's because you're from England, and I think that all this whole social media thing is it's very much for extroverts. It's all very American. It's all like lots of like buzz phrases. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Smash that button. That shit. And it's kind of, and we just see it as cringe as fuck, don't we? Let's be honest.
That's right.
We look at these things like,
but
we got to do it. We got to do it.
Yeah. The biggest reason of all being it's my channel, but you're not here for me. You've only found it because you're looking for a Lesbian Bed Death video. So like, it's not about me. I'm not trying to promote me. I'm not trying to build my brand. So we did this last time with you two. We did a bit of this or that. I'm going to mix it up a little bit, especially since we've done it before. And we're going to do a slightly shorter one and a little bit more slightly spooky, Halloweeny themed kind of a thingy. So professional. So instead of the boring old cats or dogs, you can all just take it in turns, and no wrong answers and no prizes. I always say that, I don't know why. But so seeing as it's spooky season, not cats or dogs, but bats or rats.
Bats. It's gotta be bats.
Gotta be bats.
I love bats.
I want loads of like bats like going all the way up here, like down my shoulder.
Oh, that'd be cool, like a blackout sleeve, like that fades into bats coming out.
Oh, that's a cool idea. I like that.
Then you got like white lightning going through us.
Pretty cool.
Lucy,
I got hit in the face by a bat once at Chester Zoo. I went in this like little area where they turn the lights off, and it hit me right in the fucking face.
Is
one
that
of those
how
baby bats that's like learning to navigate?
Started? Is that how COVID began? Was it actually Dan?
It was me. Yeah. It was. Yeah.
Oh,
I tried to smuggle it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bat cave at Chester Zoo is phenomenal.
I've never been to a zoo.
Got to check that out.
It's 100% the best part of Chester Zoo, to be fair.
Should we go? Can we?
Yeah.
Like go on a day out.
Be interviewed in the bat cave, sort of thing.
Yeah, that would be cool. Actually,
I love a tiger as much as the next guy, but that bat cave is awesome. Especially those like fucking Brazilian fruit bats or something. They're about the same size as me.
They're like dogs, aren't they? Like
yeah. And like the
terrifying.
staff members sort of telling you about it, and you're like, yeah, right. And then they sort of spot it, and they sort of shine that light up, and if it just happens to sort of like give a yawn, and I was like, holy shit.
Like, oh my God.
That could totally just pick me up and fly away, and I'd probably just, marry it and live happily ever after. So, anyway, black or purple?
Black.
Purple.
This is really unfair. It's my two favourite colours, and you can't have one without the other. That's really bad. But I'm going to be really boring and say black because, if you're just purple, it's all a bit Pimp
And
is
it's a Prince tribute.
It is a
Everything.
bit pimp to be all purple,
My
isn't it?
whole setup is purple. Like all my backgrounds and everything. It's all just purple themed. I love purple. It's the best color ever.
It's pretty cool.
But yeah. But then you become like a Prince tribute act if it all went a bit
Yeah.
purple.
Yeah.
It'd be like Dan and the Revolution. It'd be it's
Oh,
an option. So
yeah,
And,
true.
quick shout out to the Purple Quality Street, which are easily the best ones. Yeah.
oh, definitely.
Love it.
Everybody knows. That's the one thing the universe can agree on. All this war and death and famine and politics, but everybody can agree on that, surely.
Yeah.
I like the orange.
That's probably how we solve the whole like Israel thing. Is that they don't have purple quality streets over there or something, and it's made them mean and
it could start another holy war if we're not careful. You know what I mean? It's serious shit. You don't fuck with this kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, moving on. Clowns or zombies?
Zombies.
Yeah.
See, this is why I like Alicia.
Okay, so obviously this year you're very busy doing very important things, but another year, for Halloween, what about parties like pubs, drinkies, or whatever, or movie marathon?
It's like an activity to do on Halloween.
Yeah.
Not the same thing. Like drinkies and movie marathon is kind of kicking my stand with my phone. There we
go. I'd probably say like just like a movie marathon. Like I love horror movies, so just sitting in Halloween and just watching all the classics. Definitely.
I think I'd say party, but it depends whose party it is.
Your party.
Would you come to mine?
If it's my party or JJ's party, I'd definitely go.
Yeah.
And I'd have the best time.
Yeah, I agree. If it's a party, if you can like control who's going to be there.
Yeah.
If it's some house party, like up in Hanley or something, where there's going to be all kinds of scroats, it's like just no, I can't be doing that.
Like a club night as well. No, I'd take movies over a club night.
It's always a great idea before you actually turn up, isn't it? They're there and like people are gurning their faces off and things. It's like, oh, why am I here?
Half the time when you go out on Halloween, you're literally the only person dressed up as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're just there in your fucking Pennywise outfit, like
in my
desperate for a piss, but you can't. You have to like completely strip off just to go for a wee, and it's like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, because again, we're English, and we're just not quite there yet, are we? With the Halloween thing, we just don't quite. One thing the Americans do get right. All credit where it's due. They do Halloween properly.
That is to answer the question in the comments.
What's that?
Nice.
Someone asked if have I ever watched the Junji Ito collection? And I was literally folding washing before this, and there's a Junji Ito t-shirt. So.
Okay, so cinnamon or pumpkin spice?
I just tried pumpkin spice for the first time, and I actually really like it. So I would probably go pumpkin spice.
I'm a bit basic too. I'm going to go pumpkin spice.
This is impossible. This is cruel. You know what I mean? It's like saying which of your children do you want me to shoot in the face first, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it depends on. I could write an essay on this, but for the sake of time, I'm going to say cinnamon. But, I feel like I've done pumpkin spice dirty there, but I'm sure I'll be forgiven.
Yeah. So okay, you have to live with one of these families. Who are you going with? The Adams or the Munsters?
Adams. I think I'd suit really well. Yeah, I think we'd do besties.
I don't know. I feel like Wednesday would bully me though.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, but you'd like it.
Joseph, I'm choosing an Adams family because I want Wednesday to bully me as well, so that's fine.
I would love her to bully me. Like, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I think the whole band will be there getting spanked by Wednesday Addams. That's yeah. I think we should move on.
Okay, let's move on then. So not to me. See, come for the rock and roll, you stay for the spanking. That's what you get here.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, okay, so it's kind of a two-part question. If you could know how and when you were going to die, would you want to know?
Yes.
I mean, I feel like I shouldn't count on this question. I've been there once. Leave me alone. I've had enough. I've done it once. I'm not doing it again. I'm immortal now.
I think it's one of those scary questions, but I'm going to say I'm going to be brave and say yes, because then you can base so many other cool decisions in your life. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm not going to die till I'm 80. That's wicked. I can race this Porsche down the fucking motorway. It's fine.
That was my thinking as well. Like, you can do anything without the fear of, oh, you might die, because you're not gonna.
Yeah, well,
I think
that's just one
if
way.
you sit in our
only
wheelchairs for
person.
60 years,
Yeah.
rotting away.
I am the only person I think out of the entire band that's like excited for death. Like that, it just excites me. Like it's one of those things where it sounds really cliche, like, oh, live today like there's no tomorrow. But it's literally like you could go to sleep tonight and just die. So like make today just amazing, and then surely you'll have an amazing day every day. So
It's not being excited for death. It's been excited for life, though, isn't it?
I don't know.
Excited for death's a bit
Depends.
weird. It's like one of those fetishes, isn't it, or something?
So
I feel like I've been
speaking of
caught out here. Like,
so speaking of death fantasies, fetishes. Okay, everybody's got to die sometime. Let's pretend you're not actually immortal. Everybody's got to die sometime, but you can be killed by your favorite horror movie killer. Who's taking you out? Who's taking you out?
right, my favorite horror movie killer, I don't want to kill me because he would do heinous things. Like, and Dan is the exact same, I'm pretty sure. So mine's Art the Clown, and I don't want him to kill me. So he's my favorite. But if that man came near me, I would just cease to exist. Like, I'd kill myself. Like, because what he's gonna do to me is way worse than anything I can ever imagine. So,
So have you got a backup?
oh,
Give us a plan.
a
Give us a
backup.
plan B then.
A plan B, someone I'd be really happy to be killed by.
What's the
Ooh.
right.
With Wednesday Addams with like a big truncheon or something, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, she doesn't really kill anyone, does she?
Well,
Oh, can someone go first, and then I'll think of my plan B.
I'm gonna be a clever dick, and I'm gonna say pretty much any vampire, because then I'll die, but then come back to life, and I can just like live this disgusting hedonistic life for like eternity until the earth gets destroyed.
Isn't that what you do
I feel
anyway?
like I'm
pretty much.
overthinking it. I feel like Chucky would be funny because I'd just see this like little doll running around, and I'd be like, ah.
At least you know Chucky's going to say something really funny before he kills you, so you've got the added bonus of that.
Yeah.
A little bit of comedy. It's like, oh, come on, you've got to say something good. You can't just waste this kill.
This is like an absolute piss take of a death if he was to come and kill me, isn't it? Like, it's pathetic.
It's like, does Jaws count, like the shark? Because I would happily just, like I'd be happy with that. I love sharks, and if a shark came and ate me, I'd be happy forever. So,
why not? Why not? Jaws is great.
I love Jaws, like the original movie.
I mean, it's a horror film, right?
It is
classed
as a horror film. Yeah.
It was at the time.
Yeah. It's like it's actually classed as a psychological thriller now. Like if you Google it, I'm pretty sure it's the psychological thriller.
Really?
Yeah, because that's what what kind of thriller, yeah. And adventure. Adventure.
Quite an adventure on the high seas.
yeah, the high seas, we're gonna need a bigger boat, you know.
Fantastic. So yeah. So while we're on the topic of movie killers, I'm going to throw it. I'm going to say it's a hot take, but it might not be, because I have had some agreement when I brought this up before. But in the on the Mount Rushmore of these killers, in the pantheon of these great, you've obviously you got Leatherface, you got Michael, Jason, Freddy, even Chucky. I've put up there, right?
Mm.
Okay, I'm going to say it. Ghostface, right? I'm not allowing
Okay.
it. I'm not letting it in.
Mm.
It's an iconic image, but it's like 27 different fucking killers.
Yeah, it's
right?
not one
There's only one
person, is
Michael,
it?
there's only one Jason, there's only
Yeah.
one Charles Lee Ray. You know, there's
Mm.
like 27 ghost faces, so it kind of takes the edge off it for me, and I'm not letting it in. Sorry.
Do you know the guy off of I don't think he has a name, does he? Do you know the boy? It's that horror movie about that doll. Like this woman comes to look after this doll, and then it turns out to literally be a guy living inside the walls. If he
Thanks
killed
for
me,
ruining for
I'd be
everyone,
happy.
JJ. I'm sure they can enjoy that this Halloween. So.
Yeah, like if he came out of the walls and with a knife towards me, I'd be okay with that. I'd be fine with that.
I feel like I
Fuck
can't
him
take
up, JJ,
Ghostface
is what you said.
seriously since all the like stripper Ghostface videos that have been going around on the internet.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No,
I love those
no,
videos.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I like the
Mm.
first film. I like the first film. It's Wes Craven. It's smart. It's the whole like satire of the slasher movies and that. I get it and I like it. And I just wish it was the only one.
Yeah.
2 and 3 I don't think
joke
are particularly
now, isn't
great, but 4 was fucking amazing, I thought. I really enjoyed number 4.
Is that the new one?
No, it's
No,
the one with General Ortega. It's the first one with General Ortega. Not General Ortega, sorry. What's her face out of Scream Queens? Oh, God. Roberts, something Roberts.
Roberts, yeah.
Emma Roberts.
Emma Roberts. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah, she's awesome. I love
Yeah.
Emma Roberts. That was a really good film. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what are we? So what's what have we been watching lately? What have we watched lately that we'd recommend?
Ooh, I've been watching. This was per Dan's recommendation. Actually, I was like, Dan, I need something new to watch. Like, what should I watch? And he recommended Dexter. So obviously, I'll hop on Netflix now. I've been watching Dexter. Oh, someone said Black Butler. Yeah, Black Butler's great. I do quite like Black Butler. Demon Slayer. So I should be in the other room really with all like the posters in the background. But yeah, Dexter's what I've been watching recently.
A lot of people are going back to that.
Yeah, definitely. It is good. It's amazing. There is an old Lesbian Bed Death music video as well based on Dexter, isn't there, Dan?
Yeah.
And it is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. We had to drop it from the set.
Yeah.
It was a great idea. We all got into it, and then we kind of like decided not to do it after all. Whoops.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's called Dark Passenger, wasn't it? Yeah. When we were all sat down, obviously there comes a point where, like, before you go back on tour or you've got a bunch of gigs, you're like, what song should we do? And then we sit down. We all were really keen to have this song back on the set. I literally even started watching Dexter for it, and then we just dropped it. We just decided not to do it.
Yeah. Too much hard work. Yeah. So we shy away from that. It's not good.
Oh, it's all lies. I know you guys work hard. You do.
Once a month, at least, and then the rest of the month is just.
It's all that work-life balance shit, right?
Yeah. We have no balance. I don't think any musician has a balance really. There's just either the craft gets 100% of your attention or it gets absolutely none of it. Like
That's
you go
called
from
ADHD, JJ.
Oh.
Hyperfixation. on being good.
Yeah, that's it. It's called being on the spectrum.
No.
Um,
Yeah. So, anybody else?
I forgot what the question was. Sorry.
What have you been
It's
watching?
more
Watching recently?
ADHD. I'm sorry. I was just laughing away. I'm just in my own world. I don't know what's going on. This is a nice cup. Let me put it over here.
Oh, it was the TV recommendation question, I remember.
Oh, fuck yeah. What have I been watching? Horror-wise, I went to the cinema recently to watch Terrifier and Terrifier 2 back to back. That was really cool. Truth is, I've been watching lots of Father Ted again for like the 500th time recently. So I'll get back into the horror-thons soon. But yeah.
But not before covering Oh My Lovely Horse.
Absolutely.
I did
Damn
yet
that
another
sort of thing.
rewatch of Has Been Hotel.
Ah, good call.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you reckon is better though? Has Been Hotel or Hell of a Boss? If you've watched the other one as well.
Yeah, I have. I think Has Been Hotel is more polished for sure. I think
Yeah.
Hell of a Boss is much more of like a background watch. Like you
Yeah,
can just stick
definitely.
it on and chill out. If you fall asleep, it's not too much of an issue. I
Mm.
still enjoy it, but for different reasons, I think.
They're very different, aren't they? So I enjoyed Has Been Hotel. It's more plot based, isn't
Yeah.
it? And then you've got all the music, which is absolutely fantastic. Um, I think my favorite song is "Loser Baby," like 1,000%. And then Hell of a Boss is definitely more like you said, watching the background, kind of skits, like that kind of vibe. You watch it
Yeah.
in a more relaxed environment, and I think it's funnier that way anyway. So they're both very different and similar, but I just love both of them. They're amazing.
Yeah. I feel like just because I'm obsessed with angel dust that I need to
Oh,
have.
he's my favorite too. Yeah, Angel and Husk.
He just fucking steals it every time for me.
Yeah,
A thousand percent.
I think I lean towards Has Been because I'm finding I'm getting very biased towards anything with Stephanie Beatriz in.
Oh yeah.
I think she's just fantastic. She seems to, whether
Mhm.
from drama to comedy to the singing and the performing, watching her do even was it the Encanto, which is
Yeah.
not something I'm bothered about watching, but watching her do it live, a sort of live
Yeah.
stage show that it's like, fuck, she's great.
I didn't
Really
realize
great.
it was her, like in that show, and then you get into shows, and then you start looking into the people
Yeah.
that make them and act and stuff like that. Especially when it's animated, you think, "Oh, who voices this character?" I did not realize, and I was like, "Sorry," I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
Yeah, she's amazing.
I recently saw her in the new David Duchovny movie.
Mm.
I'm a ridiculous David Duchovny fangirl. I still want to have his babies if if it ever becomes possible. It's the thing. Um,
Doing it for the gays.
I broke the singer again. Yeah. So Duchovny has a book called Bucky Fucking Dent, and it's fantastic. And he wrote a screenplay and wanted to direct the movie. He eventually got it made. He sort of co-stars in it as well. Stephanie Beatriz plays a nurse, um, and it's incredibly funny. It's incredibly sweet. It's incredibly short, which is brilliant because I'm kind of sick of 3 hour epics that are unnecessary because they contain like at least an hour of flashbacks that I didn't need to see because the character already told me about it anyway in another scene or whatever. So I can rant about that another day. But so it's like, good old fashioned kind of 90-minute sort of movie. It does what it's got to fucking do. And Beatrice plays the comedy's sort of like an aging man. He's got a disease and shit. And she plays the nurse, and she's just fantastic. She's so I didn't know. I'd seen quite a bunch of stuff, but I wasn't quite prepared for it to be quite that. To sort of rein it into it. Most of the things I've seen her do are quite like whether it's just like a huge voice and the singing or it's the comedy. And she just really just tones it all down and just plays this kind of nice little nurse.
Sometimes it's nice like that, isn't it?
Yeah, she makes it's like it
Mm.
could be like, oh, you could get anybody, but she somehow makes it like makes it real, makes
Mm. Yeah.
almost like a two-dimensional character feel like a real
Real
character,
person. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just added so much more weight to it. And I think, yeah, not everybody could have done that.
Yeah.
And I think the small, low-budget cast, everybody's like on their A game.
Yeah. Definitely.
I mean, there's no point me saying the comedy's fantastic because I say that about everything. Uh, I'm the guy that owns Evolution like 4 times,
Mm.
like VHS, DVD, Laserdisc. I am Laserdisc years old. History will learn its lesson.
Yeah.
They're still better quality than Blu-rays, by all accounts. If you look at the technical specs, it's just
Not that much better, is it?
they're just like yay big, and you need to, unless you've got the really fancy players, you still have to, like, if you're watching something like a Lord of the Rings, you've got to get up halfway through and turn it over onto the other side, which, I can't imagine the youth of today wanting to do something like that.
Mm.
It's a bit weird.
It's like a bit strange.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds so futuristic still. Laserdisc. It sounds like what we're getting next, not something that we had like decades ago.
It's one of those
Yeah, it feels
80s
like
things, isn't it? Back in the 80s, words like laser and turbo were like all the rage. If something was turbo or got laser technology, it was like, wow, I need that. I'm in Star Wars if I got that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the HD and Blu-ray, and like HD discs are better than Blu-ray discs, but Blu-ray's phenomenal business decision was to somehow get a Blu-ray player in the PlayStation, and that's implement everybody bought Blu-rays.
yeah.
And eventually HD just petered out and went, yeah, we can't compete with that shit. And now you can't find them for love nor money. So, yeah, it's how technology works. It's weird. But I think if HD if it had been called like XHD, because things with
Turbo
X
HD.
in are sexy and cool and sell well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like gone to 4K to HD to 4K, and it just doesn't sound as good, does it?
Mm.
No,
It sounds like a cereal, doesn't it? Like Special K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a healthy cereal. I've got a bowl of 4K.
Yeah.
No sugar.
And where
It's
does
lame.
it stop? As technology advances at such a rate, where does it stop? 5K, 6K, 7K, 8K. Googleplex K is not going to really grab the attention, is it?
No, I think
Mm.
it's going to. I think for home use, it'll stop at 4K.
Yeah.
I don't see people's eyes aren't like I don't know, like a hawk or something, are they? 4K is enough, really, isn't it? And I remember a few years ago they tried to introduce a new type of CD where it was basically 5.1 surround sound on a disc. And all these things are basically saying to all the collectors like me, all the geeks, it's like, guess what? You've got to buy your entire record collection again. You bought them on cassette, now you get them on CD. And I'm not buying everything on 5.1 CD as well. It's the Blu-rays. It's like, if I like a movie, it's like, I remember when DVD came out. I'm that old. And it's a DVD, and they had all these amazing adverts with explosions and fire and how much better it is than video. Chuck your videos in the bin, get DVD. And then fast forward a few years, Blu-ray, the advert was almost identical. It's like, well, there's nothing really wrong with our DVDs. They were really cool. But it's like, well, we're going to make slightly different definition TVs. So if you love a movie, you got to buy it again. But do I buy Laserdisc? Do I buy Blu-ray? Do I buy Turbo Special K edition? What do I get? There's only so many times you can fleece people for buying the same thing. And now, with music, CD's pretty much as good as it gets. You could argue that, unless you got the hearing of a dog, I mean, really, CDs are fine. No one really wants anything better than that. And I think it's the same with 4K. No, I mean, I'm not going to buy anything like 4K anymore. I've got a Blu-ray player. I've got a nice HD TV. My movies look ace, and I just don't want to buy them all again. Just don't.
It's a little bit irrelevant as well, because if the original source material wasn't made for that, it's never going to be that quality anyway.
Yeah.
If you're going to buy a 4K version of a film that was made in the 70s, it's just not going to you any favors, really.
Yeah. They're just going to blow it up and make it look stupid.
Do you
I
guys
think it's happened with a lot of horror films in the 80s, is that although they're on film, so they could make them bigger if they went to the source material. The thing is, because they knew they're in, like, the old SD, you could get away with some really, really bad special effects. And we never really thought anything of it. We used to have them on video and on a little square TVs that weighed more than 12 dogs sellotaped together. And, it's fine. But then you get them on Blu-ray years later, oh my God, that was crap, wasn't it? That person's not really melting. You can see they've got lots of painted Johnny stuck to their face or something. And it loses a little bit of movie magic in a way when you can see too much.
Like, I think those like, for example, you have old films and stuff like that on VHS. You try and watch that on a Blu-ray now, and it just doesn't hit the same for some reason. Like, it just doesn't. I've got a CD collection and a VHS collection, and if I ever watch anything on VHS, it's like made for VHS. It was made in that time frame. It should be watched on VHS. Any of those movies that have then been remade into Blu-rays, they're just, like you said, everything looks weird and doesn't even feel the same, doesn't sound the same. A lot of them have tried to redo the soundtracks on some old movies, haven't they, to match the quality of Blu-ray. But it's actually ended up making things more like jarbled. Like, some of these people aren't even alive anymore to redo their lines. So you'll have something really crystal clear to something that's VHS quality on Blu-ray. It makes like no sense.
It's true. A lot of I think if you want to make something Blu-ray that was an old movie, you have to really go into the tech side of it, and of course that costs a lot of money to do. So a lot of these companies are basically just blowing it up. You know what I mean? Blowing it and pretending. So you've got a lot of really crap transfers on Blu-ray. So you may as well just get the DVD. It's going to cost you £3 on eBay. But the transfers are just awful. And it's the same with music. I remember when CDs got really popular in the 90s, you had a lot of stuff that was mastered for vinyl or cassette, and they weren't remastered properly, so they've got like a really thin, wafer thin kind of sound.
Like thin sound. Like they sound like they're made inside of a tin can kind of thing.
Totally. They still charge top dollar for them, back then.
But how often do you guys get suckered in to buying a movie or a TV show again because of special features? Like documentaries, outtakes, bloopers, all that kind of shit that they put on.
Oh, we just pirate everything.
We're the pirating generation.
we are the pirating generation of like, oh, you want us to pay more? Well, we won't pay at all. Like, we'll just find some dodgy website that gives us like 16 viruses on our computers. We're not paying.
I think the only thing that I buy physical copies for is like manga and stuff. That's the only thing that I will go out of my way to buy physicals for.
I'm the exact same. Like manga, like I'll buy manga collections and stuff like that, rather than just watching adaptations of things. But other than that, you're not getting anything out of me money wise. I will pirate it. I will find it on the internet.
Well, I support the movie makers and I buy Blu-rays sometimes.
Sometimes, but I refuse to step into CEX anymore though. So like all the CDs I have, those are the ones I have. I'm not getting any more.
I did used to collect CDs, and then I realised that that's just not where we are as a culture anymore, and I gave up.
What? I've got literally thousands of CDs. There isn't a week that goes by where I don't buy a CD somewhere. Whether it's a
Dan's
shop,
always buying a new. We've gone to other countries and Dan's been like, right, where is the nearest record shop or CD shop, like whatever. And we'll be in some foreign country and it'll be like, right, we need to find this CD shop before we go home, and it's just like
it's amazing. We were in Lisbon back in March, and I remember like going to the second-hand record shop and proudly walking out with this Cannabis Corpse CD and be like, yeah, £3.
€3 for that, mate.
Awesome.
Do you not think though that it's really weird to say, obviously, like I've just said, I don't buy CDs myself, although if you go to a gig to see a band, like I've I've bought CDs and stuff like that. I'll still buy band CDs if I go and I'm at a gig and they sell CDs. I will buy it because from a band perspective, people buying your CDs like keeps you going. Because I think we discussed this last time, didn't we? In terms of what streaming platforms pay their artists, which is virtually nothing. So I think when it comes to bands, I'm very happy to buy CDs and buy merch and stuff like that. But for like movies, I'm pirating that off the internet. Oh.
I'll
I think
buy
you have to
movies
remember,
if it's like a small indie sort of thing. Same with
Mm.
CDs, with bands, to be honest. There's
Oh
like a
yeah.
tier for me where it's like if I like them, I'll buy a lot. But if
Like I
it's like
think
a bigger
everyone
band,
should buy Satan Salah's CD when that comes out. Like everyone's got to buy that. Like everyone's got to get it.
got it. It's important. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like with Blu-rays, I go through phases where I won't buy one for like a year or 2 years, and then I'll go into HMV and there'll be a sale on, and there'll be like Dracula AD for like a fiver on Blu-ray, and I'm like, that's going in the bag, and then I'll buy a bunch of them, and I've got quite a good Blu-ray collection. But I find with movies, I don't watch the same films again and again and again and again that often.
Yes, you do.
So I do. Well, Lost Boys I watch every year, but you know what I mean. And from dusk till dawn, I watch certain bits again and again and again and again, like JJ does.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about. And
I do. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I find like with CDs though, you listen to the same music and get quite a lot, you know. And
Yeah.
my thing is I like to buy a CD and I'll rip it to MP3, and my MP3 player's in the car, so I'll have like, you know, 40-50 albums on rotation in the car, and then like when I get annoyed with them I just delete them off and put a bunch of different ones on for a change. But you know, then the CD kind of goes lovingly on the shelf and doesn't get touched. But you know, I do like to look at the booklet, and I like the physical, just holding it in my hands and look at the artwork.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the CD, you see, the CD is there and it's going to be there if you
Yeah.
need it for some
Exactly.
reason. It comes up in conversation or whatever, and you're like, I've got that. And you can get it, and you can play somebody, and you can prove that, like, this song existed, this band was real. And
Well,
someone else
Sophie made
goes, oh,
a
yeah,
really good point
I've
as
got
well,
it,
like about
I
signing
downloaded it.
CDs.
And you think you've got it, you think you've downloaded it,
Mm.
but because you don't necessarily own it, even though you paid money, there's the small print that most of the thing, like with the iTunes, that you don't buy the song, you are only renting the song until they can be asked they get rid of the song, and then you don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's off your player, isn't it?
But Dan will have it.
Yeah,
You'll be like, Dan, can you
yeah.
loan me that CD?
But nothing. If you
I
like
will
download, I mean,
over.
sometimes I'll buy stuff off Bandcamp, just MP3s. You know, if there's a band in America I like, for example, but I look at it and it's going to cost me like 30 quid in postage or something stupid,
Yeah.
then I'll just buy the MP3s for like 8 quid. So I'll always make sure there's a backup of that, because nothing worse than if your hard drive dies and you lose loads of music and things.
Yeah.
But you're quite right. Like, I mean, I love Ozzy Osbourne, for example, but a load of his records aren't even on Spotify. Every time there's a legal battle with Sharon Osbourne, which is like every 5 seconds, like I think Just Say Ozzy, the live album, has just been completely removed. The song "Shot in the Dark," which is one of my favorite Ozzy tracks ever, is not on Spotify because there was a dispute over you know, who wrote it and all this kind of shit. So Sharon just had it taken off. So this huge hit single that's been like part of my life soundtrack is like, you can't get it on Spotify.
Yeah.
And when they did re-release it on the greatest hits, they chopped a minute out of it, and I don't know why. So the original, honestly, if you look at like the what was it, Just Say Ozzy or something, the greatest hits, the version Shot in the Dark is about a minute shorter than the one on the Ultimate Sin. And just stupid shit like that. I mean, I don't want to play games with Sharon's lawyers. I've got my CD that I bought when I was about 13, and I've got it. You know what I mean? That's that.
Yeah.
You know,
but nonetheless, we should all maybe keep moving, because she's probably listening and she probably has snipers.
Probably.
So let's
Yeah.
not make it easy
If anyone
for her.
sees like a red dot shine on my face, please tell me to duck. Like,
No, that's crazy. Yeah. You know what is on Spotify, kids? Lesbian Bed Death.
Fucking A, yeah.
If you're late to the party, this is 3 fantastic, beautiful, awesome people representing the fantastic, beautiful, awesome, shall we just say rock band because labels suck.
Yeah.
Lesbian Bed Death. Touring this Halloween onwards somewhere near you, no doubt. Get on the socials, light them up, find it, buy a ticket, go, have fun, buy a t-shirt, see
Like,
you on the way out.
comment, subscribe.
Like,
Smash that
for
button.
other people, just not for me. I thought about, I was genuinely trying to do a kind of, I spent a lot of yesterday evening trying to come up with like an old school 80s, you know, the VHS trailers, like with the deep throat guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
even if it was comedies, it was still the deep throat guy that was,
Yeah.
that was like,
I wish my voice
everything.
could do that, you know.
Yeah.
I bet
You know.
if you really tried, you probably could do that.
I could do like the sort of like the film grain sort of effect and what have you, and I kind of had a bit of a sort of script written down, but I couldn't do the voice.
I couldn't
God.
do
I
it.
couldn't quite. I wasn't happy with the voice, so I've got nose issues at the minute, so sinus problems. So yeah, we didn't get this. Well, maybe next
on Halloween. That sort of thing.
exactly.
Someone's got a very good comment in the question in the comment, like, do you guys consider yourselves goth or just some kind of goth adjacent?
What's a goth adjacent? Like goth at an angle?
Yeah,
Like this?
like,
Yeah.
goth it in a cute angle, you know?
Italian goth rockers, lesbian bed death.
Yeah.
Conversation tonight, kids.
It's a very,
I think
it's a very interesting one, because I think the word goth is very much like the word punk or the word metal. It means very different things to different people, especially of different age groups and stuff like that. And if you go straight down, I am goth, or my band is metal, or whatever, then you'll have a million people telling you that you're not metal. Some people online say ghost art metal, and I'm thinking, well, if ghost art metal, that means all 70s Judas Priest is in metal. That means Black Sabbath stuff is in metal.
Nope.
And when you chat to these people, they seem to think metal was invented in 1994 or something, you know, with the Roadrunner records exploding Machine Head and stuff like that. And it's like, they don't know what metal even is. They've got basically stuff I like, my tribe, I want to be metal. And if it falls outside of the parameters of my tribe, then it isn't metal. And goth is exactly the same. And you know, and there is some historical, you know, boundaries that you can say this is a classic goth band. And the funny thing about that is most classic goth bands swear blind that they're not goth. No, we're post-punk. We're alternative. The Sisters of Mercy say they're not goth, and like they are the poster band for being goth, aren't they? So it's a bit of a joke, really, that the bands that say we are goth kind of often
I mean,
aren't.
as you know yourselves, as artists, you simply create the art, and you bravely put it out there, and people will say and do whatever they want with it. Yeah, and that's all there is to it. It's always. I think it's rarely is it the bands or
I think you have like
to create these stupid words. It's
marketing teams, isn't it?
Like,
so I think with something like the goth thing, there has to be a vision there at the start. Though, when you start a band, you know, your vision is, what do I want this to look like? What do I want this to kind of sound like? What are the influences I'm taking? And when I started Lesbian Bed Death, it was a side project. And back then, because it's such a long time ago, anything glam or goth was so uncool. You know, the world was new metal, basically. It was slightly post-new metal, going into kind of the start of Killswitch Engage and bands like that, and Slipknot and stuff. And no one was doing what Lesbian Bed Death is doing. And what my vision was to have something that was like old school goth mixed with a bit of sleaze, classic rock, heavy metal kind of stuff, like a mishmash of the Cults with Motley Crue, with Sisters of Mercy, with a bit of Billy Idol. And shovel that together. And that's kind of what I tried to do on the first album, but I think I got it wrong quite a lot occasionally, and it sounded like something different. But that's what I was trying to do. And you can hear that on certain songs. You go, yeah, I get that. He's been like, you know, listening to the 69 Eyes and stuff, and bands like that, and it also kind of encompass the same kind of mix of styles. But a lot of the time you get things wrong, or you write a song that's a bit different but still fits with what you're doing, and it kind of starts to take its own shape a little bit over time, you know. And so yeah, I would say we're not, I wouldn't call us a goth band, but we are definitely part of the goth scene because they keep booking
Yeah.
us and we keep buying our t-shirts. And the same way that we've always been part of the punk scene as well. We play a lot of punk shows, we do a lot of metal shows, so we're kind of like a mix of all those things to make sure that as few people like us as possible, really. That's
I think that's a good way to describe it is that in terms of like lesbian bed death, there is something for everyone to enjoy, like because over the years that lesbian bed death has been a thing, there's been classic goth elements, there's been hard rock elements, there's been punk elements, there's been metal elements. There's even been at times like some pop elements in terms of like vocal melody and stuff. So there's such a broad range of stylistic elements that go into LBD to just make it what it is. So I think that like no matter who you are and what you enjoy listening to, you can listen to Lesbian Bed Death and find something to enjoy. And I think that's like the beauty of the band. Because you can listen to it and be like, oh, I really like that part about it. Maybe not so much this, but there's something there to enjoy for everyone, really.
Yeah, I always find it quite difficult to explain to people what kind of music it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, good question.
Yeah.
It is quite a lot of different things, isn't it? But that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a
Maybe
very
go
good
with,
thing,
like,
really.
Leo, what kind of music is it? It's verses and choruses.
it's
Yeah.
I think that just about works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
it's
It's pretty much like, you know,
goth having degrading sex with glam in a punk rock club's toilets. That's what it is.
yeah.
Yeah. We all know what that sounds like, obviously.
Yeah.
It's that. But I think something really cool about the band that is that by accident, I guess, is that no one really sounds like Lesbian Bed Death. You can't. I mean, there's certain bands without being an asshole about it. There's certain up and coming bands that you can put them in a pigeonhole. You know, they sound like a bunch of kids trying to be Slayer, or they sound like, you know what I mean. You can market them very easily. You go, well, they are just a bog standard thrash metal band. They are just punk, but with you know, no, you know, and it's very easy because you can put them on a punk festival. If someone plays death metal and it's just straight down the line, spiky logo, brutal, no bullshit death metal, there's a million festivals they can play, a million tours they can get on. But at the same time, they might, well, will it be easy at the start to launch that? It's very difficult to you know, to make a name because there's so many other people doing exactly the same thing, who look the same as you, who sound the same, got the same artwork, often use the same recording studios as you. So it's hard, you know, it's very easy to jump, but harder to establish yourself later on. Whereas with us, it was the other way around. It was really, really hard for us to start with Lesbian Bed Death because people didn't know what to do with this, and I think that's often still the case. They don't know where to put us. I mean, like I said, we get on everything. We get on goth gigs, glam gigs, punk gigs. We played, I think it was JJ's first show with us. We did one of the punk festivals at the Waterloo in Blackpool. And kind of, we were the odd band out. We've got some punk songs, but we've got lots of other stuff. But
the
again,
thing
the
is, though,
really
we got
like
people coming to us and on that gig, and like I had so many people coming up to me, basically being like, "You guys like don't fit in at this gig, but that was what made you stand out." So they're like, "You've got some punk elements," and people really enjoyed it in the end. Like we were like bricking it because they're like Dan says, we've got punk elements, but we're not like a full punk band. So it's one of those things where we're in a situation where everyone around us fits into that stereotype of what people think punk music is.
Yeah.
And we're over here with elements of punk, but you know, you wouldn't probably usually find us in that place. But I think it worked for us. Like, no matter what kind of gig we've gone to, whether it be punk, metal, rock, like, no matter what we've done, it's worked to our advantage because no matter where we go, we stand out because we are a mix of everything. There's not been so far a single person that's come up to us and have been like, you guys don't belong here, like you shouldn't have played. It's always, we wish we heard you play more. And I think that's played to our advantage that we are so different. You know, because why be like everyone else? You're not gonna like go anywhere by doing that. You know, we are Lesbian Bed Death and we are this It's just this own thing. We're lesbian bed death. There's no other explanation.
That's
Yeah.
that's the T-shirt, isn't it? We are lesbian bed death.
Yeah, we're lesbian bed death. We need no explanation. We don't need a place to belong because we'll belong wherever we damn well please. You know, we'll go and do metal, pop, rock, punk. We'll do whatever, and you know, we'll have fun doing it. Basically, that's all that matters, really.
Yeah, I think as long as you're good and as long as you got some memorable tunes, you'll be all right.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's what I aim for, just to make sure the songs are catchy. And,
Yeah.
No one's thrown anything at me yet, so I'm hoping that's a sign we're doing a good job. So
I'll bring something to lob at you from the side of the stage. Don't worry about that.
I'll hire
Yeah.
someone to throw something at you on stage.
Yeah. Free T-shirt for anyone who lobs a tomato at JJ and watch the of them.
please.
With a big little box coming in. We'll be selling them on the merch store. Yeah, pelt JJ 50p a tomato and see what we can make.
Oh my god. Oh, that'd be a great way to raise money. Do you reckon anyone would actually on Halloween it wouldn't be too bad because I'll just be covered in red and it'll like match, you know?
You might not want to find the answer out of that though.
Yeah, true. Please no one throw a tomato at me, I will cry. Right.
I don't know if I asked this to Dan and JJ last time, but I'm going to do it again anyway. Oh, we've got lovely Alicia to answer as well. So, if you could get your music in like in a it was like a needle drop in a movie, which is a big cool thing that people do more than ever now, or like as the theme tune to a TV show or like an anime or something like that. What would you like?
Ooh.
I want LBD anime AMVs.
Yes.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
What's an AMV? I'm a bit old.
It's like those little anime videos that people make, and they used to put like that Linkin Park song over all of them, and it'd just be like
those.
It's like anime
like this really
edits and
intense
stuff.
Yeah.
There's quite a few LBD songs that would work really well with that too, so I've been tempted to make them and just put them on the internet to see if anything happens with them. So
there you go. Someone planning an LBD AMV.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. We would love stuff like that. Yeah.
Please share it. I'm excited.
Please tag us in it if you end up making it. I think I would. Currently, the one we are promoting on TikTok as well a lot is Art of Terror, because it's about Art the Clown from Terrifier, and obviously Terrifier 3 is coming out soon, and we're just hoping that someone may see it, or it'll become this thing on TikTok or wherever we're posting it. To basically be like, this is a great song, like this should have been in this movie, because it should have.
Yeah. I feel that about 20 different songs, you know.
Yeah.
You know, we got a Chucky song that's pretty awesome as well, and I was like, please pick this up. Somebody notice this. Please
I
give us
have
attention.
I have tried sending that to Jennifer Tilly so many times. But yeah, because she seems like a pretty cool, down to earth kind of a gal, and I just thought you never know. No response.
I think sometimes if the director has got a lot of control or over something, but I think what's important to remember is that a lot of like big TV series, there's so much money involved that it's someone's probably paid like product placement to have a certain song on a soundtrack, or if it's a Warner Brothers movie, they're going to use an artist that's signed to Warner to be on that. They're going to promote their own products, aren't they, and things, but without being too defeatist, I mean, I'm just kind of, it would just be nice just to be in a big horror movie, just to have like, I can't think of anything really, but I look at the old stuff, like how cool would it have been to have been 45 Grave in Return of the Living Dead, that film kind of relaunched their career and made them bigger than ever, and I think it's the only reason people really talk about them now. They had a historical significance in like 1980, 1981, but not that much. I mean, it's that movie launched that band. And there's also stuff like Friday the 13th Part 6. There's loads of amazing tunes now, like that huge Alice Cooper song. And, we'd nice just to have like an awesome horror film that they ask us to write something for, and
Yeah.
it just works, you know, and it becomes cool, and it's all symbiotic, and you know,
Yeah.
and it's not just some song wedged into it just to, you know.
Do you guys prefer your movies with a score as opposed to a soundtrack?
No, probably more of the soundtrack than a score, to be honest. Like, just the way that it's even written, I think works more towards anything being a soundtrack. I think don't know if that's exactly how Dan liked the idea of with the Satan Cellar as well, with LBD being in the actual movie as being part of the
Yeah,
soundtrack to that movie.
I think it's got to be both, which isn't a very good answer, is it? But I
Yeah.
think, you know, for certain scenes like your you know, you sort of Jason or Michael Myers kind of creeping around a house, you want that score, that creepy noise that builds the tension and everything. And then when he's hacking someone to death, you want the sound of like power chords and stuff. And
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
I
but you
don't
know,
know.
because like in the because we've got two old people here. Sort of the sort of like mid late 90s, all like the
That's
cool
not
hit
nice. Me and
films.
Alicia were just sitting here. You don't have to call us old. We were just innocent bystanders then. That was like really mean.
Oh, Millicent bystander. Yeah, there were these bunch of films, and they all had these like really fucking good soundtracks, like as a CD, as a, like a compilation album, like oh fuck, I don't like the Spawn movie, the first Matrix.
Yeah.
But as far as like iconic moments in the film, as you were saying, like when you hear that song, it always reminds you of that scene.
No,
No, they weren't
yeah.
like that. They were just like cobbled together,
Ah,
as you
I
said,
can.
probably from the because it's the same repertoire from the studio that's
Yes, that's
making the
exactly right.
movie.
Allow me to
Well, they're
geek
like
out a little bit.
really great
Okay.
soundtrack, like really great soundtrack or whatever, but it's not really that,
No,
you know, tied to the
it's
movie.
bullshit shoehorned into it. And I tell you something, because I used to really love soundtracks. I mean, some of my favorites like Fright Night, Lost Boys, Return of the Living Dead, and all the songs on that CD were used in the
Yeah.
film, and they were all iconic moments that, you know, you can tell that that song was written for or chosen very wisely for a particular something or other. Whereas then a thing happens, you know, obviously I'm not that old, but around the time Mission Impossible 2 came out and DVDs became a thing, you'd get soundtracks with like 20 songs, and it would then say music from and inspired by the motion picture. And you'd be like, what are you inspired by? You know what I mean? What the fuck does that
Yeah.
mean? It's like here's a song we just want to sell to you and make some cash. So we're gonna stick it on the CD. It's not on the movie or anything, but we're just gonna whack it on the
Yeah.
fucking soundtrack anyway, and it's got nothing to do with it. It kind of insults the whole idea of the you know, the sacred soundtrack, doesn't it? And I think the
Yeah, that's
Matrix
great.
was like that as well. That kind of early 2000s. You know, just like stick fucking Ramstein on there or whatever, and Rob Zombie. I'm not even sure they're in the film. They may have
like
been. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah,
But you know,
it might play in the credits, but you know,
music from and inspired by.
inspired
It's just like
by.
Music
If
fuck
you look at
off.
it, I
from
mean,
and
like
inspired.
that's great. Inspired by when some of these songs are at least like a few years old, and it's as if you're trying to claim that these bands saw this movie and went, "Oh my god, I've just had a great song idea," and made this tune that we all know has been out for 2 years. You know,
Yeah,
what are you trying to pull?
yeah. It's not very cool anymore. I mean, everything music's always been you know, something for a label to sell and make money. But we used to feel like there was some art there, whereas it just got worse and worse, and it's just product, doesn't it? Now, and it's just like it's product. You know, Transformers 2 featuring Linkin Park. Was it Transformers 3 with that fucking song? You know,
I hate
and
that song so much.
and then the Linkin Park logo transforms into the Autobot thing. It's like, oh fuck off! That song's nothing to do with robots fighting, or it's not. The emotions of it nothing to do with the film whatsoever. You're selling your new big record from Warner, and you know, and your film's crap as well. So there you go.
but you know, but you you bring it up, so let's go there. There's Linkin Park news. You know, they're back, or one of them is. Or so they
Yeah,
got a
one of
bunch of
them
other
actually
people.
was. Yeah.
Does anybody care? I mean, I've seen a lot of people seem to care in a very negative way on my internet feed, and I don't quite know what all the hate's about. But I mean,
It's because when, right, Chester was just glorified, right? It's very apparent that Chester was just amazing and suited the band in every way, shape, or form. So to lose Chester is such, well, a horrible thing for the band and for the fans. Obviously, it's like it's tragic. It's horrible. He was amazing. He was so talented, and you know. Back when I was a kid and I listened to Linkin Park, my favourite one was Chester. I listened to it for Chester. I was a fan more of him than the actual band. Would watch him in awe with his like abilities and stuff. And so now he's not there anymore, and they've got a new singer, Emily. That is the name, isn't it, Emily?
Yeah.
something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's Emily. Yeah, I thought I got that wrong, but I was like, oops. Yeah, Emily. She's amazing. I don't get the hate because she is very talented and she suits the band. And if anything, they're going in just a different
It's a
direction, really. But I
no-win
don't know why
situation,
she.
though, isn't it?
Yeah,
When you
she
when you when you replace
can't
someone as an
win.
iconic frontman,
Mm,
and then you bring in a woman and she's got to
mm.
sing male vocals, and it's almost like rose tinted glasses of this perfect person. It's like she's going to get slagged off. She won't be able to do right for doing wrong with a
Yeah.
lot of people. They're not
No.
going to be accepted.
Yeah.
But as far as from what I've seen, did a fantastic performance. It couldn't have gone any better, really, in terms
Yeah.
of delivery, performance. And to be fair, I think they've done the right thing getting someone else that's completely different, because if they got someone who was just some new metal also ran that had like blonde hair and looked like Chester and had the same kind of
Yeah.
tattoos and was just like a crap kind of replacement, it wouldn't have been very good. They had to completely change and do something else. And to be fair to them, they left it for like 7 years. It's not like Chester died, then like by Christmas there's a new singer.
Yeah.
It's not like
It's about.
replacing someone at the tills at
Yeah.
Sainsbury's, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's
No.
like they've been very
It's
thoughtful
hard.
about it.
Yeah.
And I think with bands as well, you kind of, there's a lot of very vocal people online, but the bottom line is this: is people are buying tickets. They're buying them in their thousands. They're buying them fast.
Mm.
That they want to see a new version of Linkin Park. They want to hear those old songs. They want to hear some new ones. They want the band to continue. And throughout my life, I've heard all kinds of crap about like bands like AC/DC. Oh, they should have stopped when Bon Scott died.
Yeah.
And pretty much every band, the Sepultura stuff used to always get on my tits as well, because
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're a great band now, even though they're disbanding soon. But again, with Linkin Park, it's like another thing. So I'm ranting, dominating everything is normal. Like, shut the fuck up. But anyway, I won't be like. I feel like Linkin Park, again, people look at them with rose tinted glasses. Their first album is brilliant. It's a classic. It's fantastic. The second one, for me, had 3 or 4 really good songs on, but overall it wasn't as strong as the first at all, really. Third one had like 3 great songs and a bunch of fillers, and it just got on like that. Every album they released had like 2 or 3 really good singles and a bunch of stuff that I don't not fussed if I never listened to again. And that went on for years and years. And their last album was hardly a rock album at all. I don't think there's any guitars in it at all, if I remember correctly. And it was hated across the world. Everyone hated this fucking album. And so when everyone's going, oh my God, you're ruining the legacy of Chester and Linkin Park. And so, well, it's like, come on, the legacy you're talking about is the first album. Let's be honest about it.
Yeah.
It came out in, I think it was 2000. It came out, start of 2000. It's 24 years ago, more than that. And it's like, so fucking what? If the rest of the band want to continue doing their thing and people want to buy tickets for it and the band are on point and they're bringing it, I'll be upset if the new album is shit, but I don't think it's going to. The new singles with Emily on them are way better than anything off the last record or the one before that or the one before
Yeah,
that.
she's got an amazing
What's the
voice.
problem?
She's got
Don't
an
like it,
impossible
don't buy
voice.
it. No
I
one's
think
forcing
take-
anyone to go see Linkin Park. You can stay
No.
at home if you want to. Or now you can, if you're a kid, you're 13 and you didn't get a chance to see him, now you've got the chance to see something that's kind of similar.
Well,
So,
I mean,
I'll shut up for a bit.
my take, which is like the same regards almost any band when this happens. It's just look. I mean, like I get it. I get being very passionate about a particular fandom and bands or something that people get very close to. But I mean, maybe it's the benefit of being an older, been there and done that, and so many bands split up, rearrange, die on me, or whatever over the years that I've just had to learn to find a way to deal with it. But I'm just like, all I know is a bunch of people got together, kind of got along, decided to make some music, thought, hey, this isn't half bad, and decided to share it with us. You know, so I'm up for it. I'll give it a listen. I'll either like it or I won't.
Yeah.
And that's just on me.
Mm.
And nobody else really needs to know.
That's way
My
too
opinion
balanced
doesn't
for the
mean
internet.
shit.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, people will even if she's like the most amazing like person and vocalist in the whole world, like people will still be upset because you get attached to not just the music but the people in the band. So when that person leaves or is no longer around, whatever, obviously people are bound to be upset, but I think people are kind of hating on her a bit too hard.
Yeah.
Like just give her a chance.
She was going to get shot on regardless, I think.
Oh yeah, she was gonna get hate no matter what, and I think she always will do. But I think people who have been into Linkin Park for a very long time and they've looked past all this random hate for her as a person rather than as a part of the band. I think that's more what it is. They've looked past it and they've just been like, yeah, this sounds like Linkin Park. That's all it should be about. And to me, she suits the band really well. She's a great vocalist. She's got a great image. She suits the band, and they're making music now that is more akin to the old Linkin Park that I used to like to listen to, like when I was in high school. So I've got no complaints here.
No.
Yeah.
I think it's like Dan said, they put in Chester on the pedestal, and he's just not really
100%.
like the new songs. They are shitty, churned out pop songs. Let's be honest, but like it has all the ingredients of a Linkin Park song. Like what do you want?
It sounds like Linkin Park.
It's a Linkin Park song. I did see one comment. It was like, "Oh, the song was lacking. It needed a guitar solo or something." I was like, "Name one fucking Linkin Park song that has a guitar solo." They just don't.
And it's some prick who discovered them like 2 years ago who doesn't know anything about Linkin Park and never saw them the first time. And another thing to quickly mention is that more than just Linkin Park is that even if you don't have a lineup change, people get old. I mean, if you go and see like one of the old classic rock or metal bands now, and they're all in their like late 60s, early 70s, even if it's the same lineup, you can't expect them to sound and to play like they did when they were in their 30s. Because the human body, especially a singer, their voice will naturally change. You know what I mean?
It's like I'm going through puberty, so I'm not going to sound like this next year. Like I'm going to sound completely different.
Exactly.
So
yeah, it's very true. I mean, like for example, a lot of people are crying about this Frank Carter and the Sex Pistols business.
Oh yeah.
And I won't get too far into this, but I've seen some videos. It's fucking ace. It's really good. And let's be honest, when they reformed with obviously Johnny Rotten is now some fucking overweight Tory and an absolute prick and the complete opposite of what everyone loved about Pistols in the first place. And it wasn't very good, but it was the original lineup. So what? I saw the original lineup loads. So I got bored of it. They've got nothing new to offer. There's no new music, no new anything. All that happens is the band get older and older and older and slowly decline and become a bit shitter every time. And having someone like Frank Carter is like, he doesn't sound massively different to Johnny Rotten, but he's a few decades younger. He's in great shape. He's passionate. He's giving it some. He's crowd surfing. It's got that energy and that kind of, that spice that Pistols sort of had like in the late 70s is kind of, you get a bit more of a flavour of that rather than just seeing some bloody fat Tory just moaning about stuff on stage, You're getting something more like a Pistols experience, even though it's not the original lineup. So there's so many variables and lineup changes, and there's bands like Lesbian Bed Death as well. They've had so many fucking lineup changes. I mean, it's disgusting.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna get like when I first joined the band, replacing someone as a front woman is or as a front person is absolutely like terrifying, because I knew from being a fan previous to the band before joining it that people love Lucy Four. Like everywhere you went on the internet, there was just like loads of comments like "We love Lucy Four," and I was like, she's such an amazing singer as well. All the singers that have come before me, I think, are absolutely amazing, very talented, and I've looked up to them as examples as to what to do vocally. Well, I'm like, I'm not them at the end of the day. So there's no point in me trying to replicate what they're doing, what they've done, you know, what they've already got out there, because there's no way I'm gonna work with that. I don't sound like them. I don't sing like them. I don't even look like them either. So I was really concerned when I first joined that I was gonna get like all this hate online, that everyone's gonna hate me, everyone's gonna be putting comments like, ew, get rid of that JJ, she's horrible. I was
That
like,
was me. Sorry.
yeah, that was it. It's actually just Dan. But I was so worried. Oh, we've lost Alicia. Oh no. Um, oh no. I was really worried that people were just gonna give me a bunch of hate. But everyone welcomed me with such open arms, and it was amazing. And I think there is this thing now of like I am just like JJ. I'm not Lucy Four. I'm not Zoe. I'm not the people that came before me. It's a new era of the band. We're doing different things, and that's fine. Like no one needs to hate on that. And you know, if there were, luckily I've been very lucky with how well I've been received. But if there were people like hating online, I'd just be like, well, I'm not them. I've looked up to these people. I appreciate the people that came before me, but it's time for a different era of the band. And especially now we've got Alicia as well. To me, the band feels like home. I'm comfortable in the band. I enjoy the music that we make and get to play in front of all these amazing people. That's it for me. I don't need anything else, and I don't think anyone else should need anything else either. So.
No. I think the trick is like with any band when you have lineup changes, the trick is just to move forward and make the best music you can, something you can't argue with, you know. And that's the thing. If you have a band that changes the singer, but then the new album is really shit, then everyone blames the singer and not the band. Or there's a lot of politics that happen behind the scenes and things. And you know, look at Iron Maiden with Blaze Bayley, or you know, Judas Priest with Rip Owens, this kind of thing. There's a lot that goes on in the background, and you know, but with us, you know, no one can say, oh, it's all for the money, because we don't make any fucking money. We do it because we love it, and people come and go. You know, it's like. Sometimes people do something for a while, then they get bored, or it's not for them anymore, or their life changes in some way and they can't be a part of it, even if they wanted to be, or whatever. There's always something. And the bottom line is, I love the bands. I love the imagery, the music, and it keeps me going, you know. I want to keep doing it. So if someone doesn't want to do it anymore, then it's like, well, that's a shame. Someone else will have to come in then, won't they?
Although when
now we've
I
got
die, Dan's gonna hop on vocals. That's like the next era of LBD. Like he's gonna have to sing if I go.
We agreed that we're having a hologram of you, Jay. That's what's happening.
Oh yeah, true. Dan's
hologram,
like
JJ,
you know,
hologram.
when my heart next gives up on me, he's just gonna put like a hologram of me on stage. I'm just gonna sing.
We're gonna do.
Yeah.
But you know, in all seriousness, I think the answer to it is to put out a great record. Don't, you know, with new singers, don't try and be a clone of the previous singers, otherwise that's all you'll ever be. And I think with JJ's voice sounds, it fits with LBD, but she has very much her own identity too. And I like to think that we've put out possibly the best album we've ever done. You know, it depends what day I wake up on. Sometimes I like Midnight Lust best. Sometimes I still love The Witching Hour. That's still, you know, sometimes you make a record that was on point. You know, I probably like Midnight Lust more now, to be honest, and I think it's our best record. But regardless, if you're putting out quality stuff that you're really, really proud of, and the fans like it too, then it's a lot easier to move forward. You know, it's a lot easier. Whereas I think it's very hard if, like, you know, your first album is your best one, and everything else you've done after that's a bit crap. It's really hard, you know, because everyone's just going to want to hear that. You know, that's the problem.
I think there's so many, it goes back even to like the musical elements and stuff like that. Like it's been so diverse that this band is an enigma because it's stylistically, it's got so many different styles, it's had so many different lineup changes, and I actually think that works part of the band, like what we are now. It's gone through so many changes to get to this point.
Yeah.
And we're just hoping that we've put out Midnight Lust. We love Midnight Lust. Like we've had, it was very well received. And everything that we do now, we're going to keep working harder and harder to ensure that people want to keep listening to us, that they're excited for the new album drop, new single release, whatever we do. We just want people to enjoy our music, no matter who is, like part of it, really.
Yeah,
So
there's always going to be someone who's got something to say online, always. But I mean, the bottom line is that we just keep making music and people seem to be enjoying it, and to be fair, the band seems to be more popular now than it ever has been. So I think that's kind of testimony to us and that we're kind of doing the right thing, I guess. If we were like made a really shit record, I think we know about it pretty quick.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. We'd know
totally.
ourselves. We hate on each other like so much, don't we? We're like on ourselves. I'm like, we'll be in the recording studio. I'll like pop out a line or something into the microphone, and then I'll turn around and I look at Dan. I'm like, that wasn't the one, was it? No, that wasn't good.
Do it again.
Like,
do it again.
Do it again.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's just. I think for all of us, really, it's just so much fun doing it, and the music we make means a lot to us, and the fact that people just keep showing up for us, online, in person, like the support that we get from friends, family, fans. All these people have built a community around us that just constantly support us, and I think that is the best thing. I just feel so loved, and I think when you haven't like kind of like felt like that before, now it's just amazing, and I just feel really loved, basically. And I just love this band. I love being a part of it. I love everything that came before me, and I'm really excited to keep going with it and seeing where we go, basically.
Yeah.
So
I think it's important to think, like, when you're making music, you got to always think that your best record is ahead of you.
Yeah.
We're not
on the cusp
steady.
of something, aren't we?
Yeah, I see a lot of these old bands that you feel like they're just churning out products just because they can go on tour again.
Yeah.
And to show how much they love their new music, they might play one song live in a 2-hour set, and then everything else will be greatest hits package. And you know what I mean? You think, like, do you actually like the album? And the thing with us, we're passionate about it, and I certainly wouldn't let us put out an album unless I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
You've got to be your biggest critics yourselves, aren't they? And you got to
There's a great live show, Thin Lizzy. It's from the last tour that they did before Phil left us, and so it's the last tour in the last album that they made. It's not like it's the last gig, but it's during that last tour. There's only like months prior to his death, and they're a fantastic band, and they're incredibly tight and incredibly brilliant musicians. But you can just see Lynyrd, it's unavoidable throughout the whole gig. While he nails everything, it's clear, like in his mannerisms, the way his face lights up, the way he moves around a little bit more. Whenever he's playing the new songs from that latest album that isn't any of the hits that you all know, he's fucking on it. He's digging it. He's enjoying it. And when he's got to play The Boys Back in Town, he's like, he's not going to get it wrong. He's not going to fuck around. He's a pro. But, it's when those new songs hit, it's almost, you can't not notice that.
Yeah.
They're
catching, isn't it? Moving forward.
That's actually quite. Yeah, it's quite interesting that you say that, really, because it's, for me, I get a little bit of that, of the newer songs feel more like home to me than the old ones. I love like all the old songs and all the classics and stuff that we do. I love bringing them back because I get to see people then sing it back to me, which is the most amazing thing ever. But in terms of stuff off Midnight Lust, the new stuff, when I'm on stage and singing it, I think I noticed that I mess up a lot less on those newer songs, or I feel a lot more confident with those songs, because when you're in the studio and you spend so much time doing them, they just become part of who you are. So when you get to do all that new stuff, it's a bit more new and exciting to you, which is why this time we're playing a lot more off the new album as well, aren't we, Dan?
We are, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Woo, she's
I
back!
made it.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I take my cue from Iron Maiden because I'm a bit a big Maiden fan since I'm a kid. And what I've always loved about Maiden is that when they put a new album out and they do a tour, there'll be at least 6 songs off the new album, usually out of 10. You know, they're proud of the new album. They want to play new stuff. If that means they've got to drop Run to the Hills or one of the big numbers, then fuck it, they will. They're not tied to any particular hits because they've got so many of them. But they will always tour that album, whereas other bands will play one song and then that'll be it, and everything else will be the same. AC/DC and one album. A bunch, you know, and Saxon a bit like that sometimes, and you know, and over time it just you start to wonder, like, do you love this or not? And I'm really proud of the Midnight Lust album. I want to make sure there's plenty of new stuff, but a good selection of old stuff for all the fans who have followed this for years. And so we're not neglecting any of the old material, but we're kind of having a good mix of new and old every time.
I think we've got a great mix now, don't we? Yeah, we've got a really good mix, like especially for this like our Halloween, because it's a headlining gig for us, is it's a massive set list compared to a supporting set list that we're going to be doing when we go on tour. So we've just thrown everything at it, haven't we? We've just been like, that's one. There's so many songs on that set list, and it's a right good mix of new songs, old songs, some in between, and a very special songs that we can't wait to announce to people that we haven't done in a very, very, very long time. So people are going to be very happy that we've put that back on the set list, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So
fantastic. So I probably asked this last time, but again, we have more people to answer. So I don't like the phrase guilty pleasures because I think it's bullshit. Like I'm totally, I like what I like, and fuck you, right? I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, it's Gary Newman, Sepultura, everything in between. I don't care what anyone. But in that sort of vein, give me something, either an artist or maybe just a specific single, a specific tune or something that the average LBD fan might not expect to be a thing that you guys are into.
I'm really into hyperpop, which I feel like is a bit like really into it at the minute.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like pop music on steroids, like sped up, really high pitched. It's like nightcore, but
Nightcore.
Like
oh my god!
So I'm thinking of like Scooter or something. No. Is that not right?
Yeah, it is kind of, could be like along the veins of
Right,
yeah, okay. But like the Chipmunks doing Scooter.
No, it's not necessarily like that. It's just like really shitty, bitchy girl pop, like. Literally sitting here in a black metal t-shirt and I'm like, hyperpop.
Hyperpop. What do you reckon yours is, Dan? Like, music guilty pleasure?
Oh god, my guilty pleasure is always 80s pop music. Just all kinds of things. Pet Shop Boys, you know, bit of Kylie, bit of Madonna. Yeah, I fucking love Madonna. Anything like that. If it's really cheesy and it's from the 80s and it's got lots of keyboards in, like Thompson Twins and stuff, I'm all over that. Fucking love it.
I've been doing a lot of the cheesy 80s rock, as it like the action movie theme tunes kind of stuff, like the stuff that's in like Kickboxer or like the thing from Commando or you know, shit like that. I don't know why I've been making a playlist of all that epic bollocks.
What's his name? Something Bush, isn't it? Not John Bush. That's guy from Anthrax, but
George Bush.
Steve Bush.
Dan Bush.
George Bush.
Stan
Not
Bush.
George Bush. No, he's a racist from America.
A racist?
He
In
did like the
America?
theme for the Running Man, and I think he did the Commando one as well.
Yeah, yeah.
That kind of cheesy. Yeah. Oh, I don't see that as guilty pleasure. That's rock music, innit? I mean, I love a bit of Toto and all that kind of Journey and shit, and all the big cheesy rock bands. They're amazing.
Do you want to know what mine
I'll
is?
defend those to my dying day. That's a hill I will die on. So
you'll die on the hill. Mine is a Nickelback, like just pure dad rock. I love Nickelback. No, I actually do. You play me Rockstar and Heart. We wrote about this in practice the other day, weren't we? I love Nickelback. I've always loved Nickelback, and like I just love them. I don't know why. So Dan's been summoned.
No,
I feel like Rockstar is a banger though, to be fair.
But people hate on them for like no reason. There you go.
Hey.
I'm a sad bastard. Don't worry, I'm with you. Yeah. Dark Horse has actually got some bangers on it.
That's a brilliant one.
What's the one after?
I don't know why.
It's over there.
I also love the memes. Like, look at this graph. Like,
I do think they get more hate than they deserve.
They do. I've never understood the Nickelback hate, but I love Nickelback. I always have. Like since high school, I've just been listening to Nickelback, being like, "Oh yeah, this is how you remind me."
Some of their lyrics are just phenomenal cheese. But I tell you what it is. I think it was Dave Grohl who started shitting on Nickelback in the press. And it was basically, if I remember correctly, he said something along the lines of, not these exact words, but they're the most corporate, soulless, just pop rock metal for the radio that you can possibly get. And it's all predictable, it's all whatever. But I mean, that's kind of, a lot of those formulas are what often makes a song great. It's not easy to write a huge hit single pop song. Otherwise, we'd all do it. And the thing that really annoys me, right, and maybe things are different in America than here, but if I want to think of a really mainstream rock band that every Karen in the office knows, that's on Radio 1 all the time, and just constantly get an airplay, it infects you. It's the Foo Fighters, not Nickelback.
It's true.
It's the Foo Fighters.
You're not
constantly.
wrong.
You can turn on Kerrang TV without hearing one of their tunes. And not that I'm shitting on the Foo Fighters or anything, but it's pot and kettle, isn't it? It's like, shut up, Grohl. Don't think you're this fucking cool underground fucking dude. You're the most mainstream guy that there is. Yeah. I mean, your shit's way bigger than fucking Nickelback.
It's like, we all grow up to become as parents. I think perhaps if you're in a band, you all end up being Nickelback at some point.
Never Nickelback.
It's inevitable if you're successful enough.
Oh, no, maybe.
It will just shift in your direction, and the LBD style will be the mainstream, corporate, radio friendly, what everybody just likes. Your grand's rocking out in a.
That'd be amazing. I want someone to dance to us.
What's that? Sorry, I was fucking. yabbering
I said
on,
I would love that if like LVD just became this like mainstream thing and like everyone wanted to do it and everyone was doing it, because then it'd just be like, oh, you guys sound like so LVD, that's so lame. and then I just want someone's nan to be dancing to us and Reflex or something like.
Yeah, that would be mint. I'd be down for that. I'll tell you what, that Nickelback
some mashup of Satanic Suicide Sex Cult going on in the background. Someone's doing remixes of it.
That Nickelback album, Dark Horse, has got some heavy riffs on it. And I think one of the game changers musically was Metallica's Load album. While I'm not the biggest fan of it, it was huge. But that big Mesa Boogie guitar sound and everything, that was the template for some of the later Nickelback stuff. And there's a million bands who do that kind of almost like Southern American classic rock, like your Black Stone Cherries, and there's fucking hundreds of bands out there that all sound the same and look the same, and Nickelback's just another of those, that kind of post grunge but kind of countryish a little bit sort of bands. And they're two a penny now, but to be fair, they've made a massive career out of it, and I don't see why people throw shit at them. And same with Ghost as well. Ghost are the cool band to shit on now, but they're fucking awesome. I love Ghost. And I love the whole occult thing that goes with them, obviously, and all the wonderful blasphemy all over it. But again, people are like, well, it's not really heavy. There's no screaming, no blast beats. It's like, well, that's not the kind of music it is. It never was. It was all based on like 70s and 80s rock. It was based on, it's more from the world of Blue Oyster Cult and Black Sabbath, isn't it? Really, it's on Lamb of God or anything, because that's not what they're doing. But you can't make people happy, can you? But another little aside, while I'm on one of my crazy rants, is what you said about us being like huge, this big band, and I'd love that. But what kind of sometimes narks me a little bit is when occasionally we'll see like a comment somewhere, like on YouTube or something, and they'll be like, "Oh, you guys, I love your occult rock in Lesbian Bed Death. Are you guys like influenced by I don't know, Ghost or Creeper or something?" And I'm thinking, dude, I started this band 20 years ago. These bands were a glint in the milkman's eye when we were doing this shit. Do you know what I mean? They were just they were just bit of crust on a sock, man. They weren't even. They hadn't even called out the water yet, We predate these guys, like, in one form or another. But the difference is that they got famous and we didn't. So
yeah.
But we haven't ripped anyone. I'll tell you another very quick one, little aside, because I don't know if it's I'm on one of these little ADHD motorways now. I'm fucking flying down it. I remember years ago, I started a fanzine years ago. It was in linked with my Godless Festival I used to put on. So a festival called the Godless Festival, and it was always 2 stages with 30 bands on, and it was awesome, very underground and stuff. And I had a Godless magazine that ran side by side, and I got some bigger bands in it. I interviewed Ginger Wildheart for it and stuff, and one of my favorite bands I interviewed was called the 69 Eyes. One of the bands that really influenced me when I started Lesbian Bed Death, because they had the whole glam goth thing like down, with like 80s tinge. So I interviewed them, and I put them on the front cover as well. And on the front cover was a CD, free CD with lots of underground bands on it. And of course, our first single, "Goth Girls Are Easy," was #1 on it, because obviously I'm, self-promoting. So, and I sent a bunch of magazines off to Finland, and didn't hear back from them, not expecting to. It's just like a thank you for being in my magazine. Here's a bunch of mags and stuff like that. And less than a year later, they said, "Oh, we've got a new album coming out. Here's the first single. It's called Dead Girls Are Easy." Right. Maybe it's a complete coincidence. Maybe it is. I don't know. But they would have been very much aware of the existence of it. And I don't know. I've ripped them off millions of times over the years, and I wouldn't care. But it would be lovely if they acknowledged that they maybe got the idea from it or something. But what does get on my tits a little bit, if ever I say, "Oh, you guys have ripped off Dead Girls Are Easy by the 69 Eyes. I saw that once." I'm like being an egomaniac. I was like, "No, I fucking didn't." We wrote that back in like fucking 10 BC or something, Yeah. So other than that, that's my closest to fame I think we've ever come. So sorry about that. That's all I've got to offer.
Just to let everyone know, I do have to come off at 10. So does anyone have like any other questions before I disappear?
No.
No, well, okay, look, you've got me thinking, you've got me inspired. I think I might make a musical comeback. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Nickelback songs, but faster and more high pitch. Call it Nickelcore, and it's going to be fucking huge.
That'd be mint, actually.
I would listen to Nickelcore. I would so listen to Nickelcore.
I would as well, yeah.
I
wouldn't tell anyone. I wouldn't tell anyone about it, but definitely.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell anyone, but I'd listen to it.
I'd skip it if someone came in the car, Move on.
So I finally found a way to end this shit, or at least I think I have. So if you do me the great honor just before you go, you can do this however you want to do it. If you want to do it in the form of some kind of celebrity impersonation, if you've got one up your sleeve. If you want to do it comedically, erotically, if you want to do it as some over-the-top American douchebag. But if you could just take it in turns, and if you can give me a till next time, keep it foxy.
Well,
at the same time, or do we have to take it in turns?
I'm overthinking this, but I think someone else should go first. And
what's my motivation?
I
just feel like I've got the Foxy bingo thing. Or like a Paddy McGuinness type thing.
Yeah.
Like,
No like it.
till
No
next
like
time,
it.
keep
Alright,
it
boys.
foxy.
Fucking hell, until next time, I'll keep it foxy. That's all I got.
No, please do.
We're not going to top that. So thank you very much for your time. It's
Yeah.
been a pleasure.
Thank you very much for having us.
All being well, I will see you in Sheffield in November.
Awesome.
Bye. See you at
Excellent.
Sheffield.
Thank you.
Thanks
See ya.
again.
Bye.